What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel for another video. Today we're starting, here's Yursky. We are doing the PCV reroute on the Duramax, which I'll show you everything for it right now. We got the garage, we got the Duramax in the garage, which is pretty cool. It's like, yeah, that's like 1.5 billion degrees out. But this is the hose for the PCV reroute right here. They give you a good amount of it. We're gonna end up trimming a lot of that. So that's that. And then also in the kit that I got is from Deviant Performance. These guys right here. I'll show you what comes in it. So right here you got these two billet fittings. This little cap right here, which I believe caps the... I actually don't know what that does, and I don't know what that does either, but I know these goes into the valve cover, I believe, and you use the stock bolts from it to put that in there. Comes with the zip tie, this and that, and then also we're doing the long-awaited, this is the S&B turbo inlet, so pretty hyped to do that too. And this is the, like I said, this is a little plug that you put in here for the to block the where the PCV would normally go into. As you can see, I'll show you when this is taken off, but that little PCV line, the OEM one, would go into here, but they supplied this little plug because we're actually going to reroute the PCV anyway, so we don't even need that. Okay, so it's actually pretty simple. Came in here, this is the PCV, as you can actually see. This is where it mounts factory. So this is the end of it. This mounts into the valve cover right there. Like that, as you can see. Where it mounted to the other side of the PCV hose, it actually literally was so brittle that it broke. So, good thing we're upgrading that anyway. So we pulled that off there, and then you see that there's a wiring harness right here. This is for your, honestly I have no clue what this is for, but it wires into right here. So you have to pull that off, get that out of the way. Pull the PCV off, like I said, undo like 4 hose clamps, and then you fall in your engine bay, and then you get the old turbo inlet out. So this is what it looks like. As you can see, yeah, bring the other one over here, right there. As you can see too, there's some oil in here, but this is the new one, all billet. As you can see, way bigger opening right there. Opening's the same size, but this inner lip is removed, and it's also the angle, dude. Like, yeah, watch, hold them up. Yeah, like you can see the angle's way less aggressive on it. And you can see better airflow in that. We should be getting fatty spools on here real soon. Oh yeah. And you see, this is where on this thing right here, that's where the PCV slid onto, right here. This one comes with the plug, like I said, because we're no longer going to be routing the PCV that way. So we plug it off, and then deep down. Yeah, tighten the schmala beep. And then there she is, right in there, Miss Garrett. Big old Miss Garrett. But yeah, we're gonna get it on, throw that thing on there, find out how to route that PCV, and then, dude, that was easy. That was literally out in like 20, 15 minutes. Yeah. That was a good estimation there, 10, yeah, 20, right. 15. So that's the little plug for the PCV all tapped in. It comes with a thread locker on it already. So we threaded that in, and now this thing's ready to go in. We're getting the V-band on here now for the turbo inlet. We're gonna test fit this before we do the PCV reroute, make sure we have everything in right. Turbo wheels looking good, just running a little inspection in there. Everything's spinning real nice. Nice and smooth, butter, no problems there, right? Yep, everything's going all right, man. We are a little low on coolant after our brush with replacing the tank, but other than that, just top that off, get this done here real quick, and we'll get back to you. Okay, cool. So now we got the S&B intake inlet in, or turbo inlet in. That was super easy to put on. You just have to remount that V-band that goes to the turbo. And then this goes to the intake. I threw the intake on. That's routed. I mean, pretty much we're done. If we weren't doing the PCV reroute, I would literally be throwing this back on, putting this back on, and be done. But we're gonna do the reroute too. So I'm gonna finish taking off the rest of the PCV and figure out where I'm gonna route everything. Well, I'm still inside the engine bay. Got most of this stuff. I already showed you that I got all this stuff on. We are now rerouting the PCV. I was kind of just figuring out how it worked. My brain didn't wrap around it, but now I got it. Pretty much there's these billet fittings you have to install on both sides. Let me turn this fan off. When you take out these, this is the OEM ones, how it is. This is the bracket that goes inside the valve cover. This piece right here is replaced by this little billet fitting on both sides. One goes down in there, one goes right in here. And then this hose is the one that it comes with. And you just literally route this on the passenger side first. Drape it behind the turbo inlet till it sits about right here.
That's the driver's side.
And then I have to, okay, driver's side first, come to the passenger side and cut it a little bit longer so it kind of stays up like this. You want it clearing this turbo. So like, I'm gonna cut it about like right here. So that way it kind of sits about like that. After that's on, I come back up here, I cut out a little section for the T, and then I'll show you what I do when I get to that point. All right, I think we're finally done. I'm done sweating, I can tell you that. But pretty much, you can see, I ran it up here. You see I gave that clearance to the turbo right there like I wanted. Teed it off here. You can see where the T is, right there. This is the hose right here, the one that comes off the T. That goes down, and I ran it right to the cab mount down there. That is just ventilation. This one goes into that valve cover, and that's it. I'll move all these sockets, but you can see a lot cleaner look now in here. That SMB mouthpiece looks cool. Everything looks really good in here now. So, that's it. I'm gonna check everything over one more time like I always do. Check to make sure everything's tight and everything like that, and then we'll take it on a test drive and we'll see what happens. I know some people say they get increased spool or this and that. It probably won't give me any noticeable difference, I don't think. Maybe it will. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully everything's good. All right, y'all, we're all done. I rechecked everything. Everything's ran good. Everything's looking right. And we are about to start her up and take her on a test drive. One of our buddies just pulled up in a pretty clean Silverado. Methods. Got an upper arm on it in there. Okay, this is first drive here. Literally right out of the garage. Now it might just be us tripping, but we think it has more spool.
And we love spool.
That's me barely getting on it. Now I'm interested if it's gonna make any difference in the kind of the bottom end lag.
Yeah, kind of a dig situation.
Yeah, or like low just creeping on it, because it just takes a second to spool up.
This guy's hack.
So I'm wondering if it's gonna make a difference. So we're gonna see right now. Okay, we're gonna do a little launch now. It did not break tire before.
It did not ever one time.
On that launch, it just broke tire and it's never done that before. Wow. I'm hyped. That was pretty tight.
Yeah, it's
never broke tire like that.
Never.
Wow. All right, what's going on? Back here, this is actually the day after we installed everything that you're gonna see. But I just kind of wanted to run through when I got back after the test drive. Everyone, we wanted to go out to dinner, so ended up just going out. But before I wrap up that video, I kind of want to give some insight on a few things that you want to make sure that I didn't cover in the video. One of them being for the PCV reroute, the turbo comes pretty close to these lines if you just kind of pull it tight, because you basically measure yourself from that side to that side and cut it. What you want to do is cut it a little long, so that way when you put it on the prong down on that side, it kind of creates this arc, so you have clearance from the turbo. So that's one thing I wanted to say. Another thing, you want to make sure that it clears the EGR cooler, which is right there. That's a big thing too. And as you can see, you create that arc right here and it clears that as well. So that's one of the main things you want to do right there. So that way you don't burn through any of your hoses or anything like that, which would just be annoying to have to deal with. So that was pretty much that thing. And then I also wanted to show you exactly where I routed the third line for the T. So you can see this line that goes to, it's actually like the vent line. I'm gonna show you right now. Crawling under here. As you can see, it's right there. This is where it comes out at, right here. And it just goes right out there to the side of the frame, right by the wheel. I'm getting too old for this. But so those are pretty much just a few things I wanted to show you. And then also added it on here, I'm about to go get some sound clips of it, just to throw it in there in case anybody wants to hear if it makes any difference in sound. I feel like it might spool a little bit more than it did before, but I don't know for sure. All right, first we're getting a cold start. Go ahead. All right, I'm now at the side of the road and I'm having Drew drive my truck just because I want to get some better exhaust clips from the outside, like I said. So literally we're on just some, I mean, this looks like the perfect road to be on, this straight road. He's gonna drive by and we'll get some clips going here.
Ooh, that was close. Alright, so we have some kids on little mini quads in the parking lot. I don't really know what's up with that. Not bad tire tracks, honestly, just for stock power boosted launch. Oh, here comes the man again.
Like guys, we're being for real.
It definitely does something.
Yeah, like
100%.
Usually these types of mods, like, I feel like it's like an intake is kind of what I thought, where it was going to be like minimal increase. But seriously, I mean, the truck feels way more awake now.
Yeah, it spools up a lot faster.
Literally left 2 lines right off the launch like that. It's never done that.
No.
Usually I could not even get this thing to break tire.
Yeah.
Literally. It would just like, I mean, if I sat there and tried to do a burnout, it would. But if I launched it or anything, it would never chirp or nothing. But right there, it kind of lit up decent.
It's definitely feeling a lot healthier, I'd say. I drove it for a little bit. I'm happy with the job.
It sounds, I swear it sounds different. It's got like a little more spool under like cruising speed, and it's got like some growl down low, but dude, it's pretty sicky on my end. And it was only the install, I mean, think about it.
Hour and a half, maybe.
The PCB with the intake, or with the turbo horn, whatever you want to call it, it was only like $280 for everything. So if you got a Duramax and you're looking to mod your truck, and you're on a budget, or you just want to mod for a
start small
price, I would definitely suggest these 2 things. They kind of go hand in hand, the intake and the PCB. You're right there, you might as well do them both at the same time. And yeah, the truck's completely different.
She's a happy girl.
Yeah.
Happy girl indeed.
So, thanks for watching, and on that, it's a wrap.